this little Ron is nearly 2 now. Can't believe she's nearly 2, and she's been absolutely adorable, and she gets on really well with Louis. But we thought we'd answer the question that we've had many times but we've never got round to answer, is to have 1, 2 or more whippets. And this video is all about what our views are and our experience of getting Rosie to come and live with us as a little puppy alongside Louis as an older dog, and how we found it and what our experiences are. So I hope you enjoy the video. I suppose the first thing we need to cover is probably the obvious one. It's the cost. And looking at it, I would still say that having a dog or a whippet or a dog of a whippet size, it costs about £60 a month, depending on the quality of the food you use. We obviously use Pooch and Mutt, which is a quality food, not the most expensive, but one of the top quality foods that are out there. Now that's not including pet insurance. We don't have pet insurance. We had pet insurance for our first whippet, Ben, and he was healthy most of his life until his later years. And when we started to claim on our pet insurance, we put the first claim in, and they said we couldn't claim for that ever again because it was a repeat illness. So it was a waste of money all over those years, so we just basically put the money away instead of paying it to an insurance company. I would say that the average cost is around £60 a month, so obviously if you have 2 whippets, that's going to double, £120 a month, or over a year that's about £1,440, thereabouts. Depends on how healthy your dog is or if you have any particular problems. And there will be obviously some initial setup costs as well, buying harnesses and leads and beds and whatever else you need for your particular dog. Now if you are going to get 2 whippets, do you get 2 puppies together, or do you have one dog for a few years, let that settle in, and then get a second dog? I think generally people have 1 whippet and they have that for a few years and have a great experience of having that dog, and then decide they'd like another one, a friend for it, and another dog, a younger dog or a puppy to go alongside that dog. Obviously if you have 2 puppies together, you've got 2 dogs you're trying to toilet train, you're going through all the teething at the same time and all the problems you can get into with having a puppy. But if you've got an older dog, like what we found with Louis, is that the puppy, Rosie, learned a lot off Louis. He was the teacher for most of it, so all the routines and everything, Rosie would watch Louis and follow Louis's lead on everything. So we found it really good having Louis, who was about 6 I think, when we got Rosie, and she just followed him around and learnt from him. And he was a great teacher in the routines and the to-dos and not to-dos with living with us. Having more than 1 dog or more than 1 whippet is also something you need to consider if you're going to be travelling or if you want to go on holiday every year. Now we generally go on holiday separately. If we go away and we can't take the dogs with us, we go separately, so the dogs are left with one of us, or we take the dogs everywhere we go. They're a big part of our life. But if you are a family or you like to go on holiday or you want to go away, it's easier to get a dog place to be looked after or to pay for the kennels for 1 dog than it is to have 2 or more dogs. Obviously the price increases, but it's a bit more difficult with other family members if they're going to look after the dogs. Likewise, if you're going on holiday and you want to go to a hotel or rent a cottage or even rent a camper van, there's lots of cottages and hotels out there that'll accept 1 dog, but not more than 1 dog. So that can limit some of the holiday opportunities you have. Even in caravans, I've seen caravans advertised on websites, on campsites, where you're allowed to have a dog, but only 1 dog. And if you have more than 1 dog, I know some of them say maximum 2 dogs or maximum 3 dogs. It does limit some of the options that you have. Would we have a 3rd whippet? Well, I probably would, but Joe says no, 2's enough. And I suppose the main thing about that is in our camper van. We love going away in our camper van, and our camper van is a mid-wheel-based high-roof crafter with a fixed bed. And having 2 whippets we can cope with, it's not a problem. But having another whippet, there certainly wouldn't be enough room in the bed, and we haven't got enough room to have another crate in there for transporting another dog with us. So I think we're sticking at 2 whippets, although we absolutely adore having more than one whippet. I suppose the other thing to consider, and you can probably do some tests with this before you get a second dog if you are thinking of getting a second whippet, and that's how your original dog socialises with other dogs. So you might want to go to some events, some sighthound meetups or dog shows or dog events, and just see how your dog socialises with young puppies. And that'll give you an insight to see how bringing another puppy into your house will actually work for you and your current dog. One of the most saddest things with having a whippet or any dog is when they leave you, and unfortunately dogs die as teenagers. And having just one dog and that passing away, we really struggled. I really struggled when Ben, our first whippet, died. And within 4 weeks, I think it was, we had Louis. We'd found Louis as a rehome, and he come to live with us, which really helped. So having 2 dogs and having them at significant different ages, so Rosie's 2 and Louis 7, helps, because obviously if one dies, you've got your younger dog which can live on, and helps to replace some of that loss within your family, because they are a big member of your family. It's like losing a child, basically. You know, we absolutely adored our Ben and think of him all the time, and the thought of Louis getting old and passing away we'll have to deal with, but we'll have Rosie at our side as part of that, and we'll possibly get another whippet later on when the inevitable does happen. There are people out there that have got second whippets, and for all the right reasons, and thought it'd be great, but that second dog just hasn't worked for them or worked for their existing dog, and they've tried to persevere, but unfortunately it just hasn't worked out, so they've had to rehome that second dog. So it's not guaranteed that if you get a second dog they're going to get on well with the rest of them. We was lucky. Rosie's just an absolutely adorable dog, and she'll get on with any dog really, and we didn't have that problem whatsoever. But there could be a situation where you go through this process, decide you're going to get a second dog, you get a puppy or you get a rehome dog, and you try to bring it into your life with your existing dog, and for whatever reason it just doesn't work out. And in that circumstance, that's going to make life very awkward. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are desperate for a whippet. They're still difficult to find, they're still difficult to come across. I constantly get messages from people saying they would love a whippet, and can I recommend where to get one from? And I always say, if you're not going for a puppy, you need to register with all the dogs homes and rescue centres across the country, and as soon as they get one in, let you know, because there's still a demand for them. I don't know if there's more whippets out there now. There was a thing on the news saying lots of people are getting dogs through lockdown, and that might have changed now with the current financial situation. But I'm not aware of masses of whippets about looking for rehomes. I suppose they're one of those dogs that cost quite a bit as a puppy. They're not a cheap dog as a puppy, and people invest a lot of money in them, so they've probably done all the research and everything they need to do before they actually get one. If you are getting a second dog and you're looking to get a puppy like we did, please do your research. There's lots of scams out there. Certainly don't send any money until you've actually visited the people with the puppy. Try to see the parents of the puppy, and if you want to find a good breeder, I recommend that you go through the kennel club, the Whippet Kennel Club, and get recommendations there. It's another question I get on a common occurrence, and I always recommend to get the best breeder and to get somebody safe to deal with is to go through the Whippet Kennel Club, which gives you the opportunity to have a registered breeder that's known to an organisation that's responsible for whippets. But whippets are just amazing dogs. We totally love having 2 whippets. We loved having Louis, but having Rosie as well is just brilliant. And where we live in our lifestyle, Jo has taken early retirement now, and she has plenty of time to spend with them. I work partly from home, so I have a large amount of time to spend with them, and they go everywhere with us out in our camper van. And if you follow us on our Instagram, which is Whippet One Man and His, you'll see our posts almost every day of us walking in the countryside and what we get up to with our two whippets. There's lots of people who follow me on Instagram and on YouTube that have lots more experience than I do of living with whippets and numerous whippets. So if you'd like to leave a comment or any recommendations or add to anything I've put into this video, please do in the comments of this video. I know people find it extremely useful when they're planning to get a whippet or maybe one or more whippets, and it helps to build that community and the network of knowledge of living with a whippet. That just leaves me to say thank you once again for watching, and do check out our other whippet videos or other campervan videos on our channel. Thanks again, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.